Hi, Dion.
Hi there.
Hi, where are you calling from today?
I'm in a place called Cookham, just outside London, in the UK.
Oh, nice. Is it cold out there yet?
Well, it's not too bad at the moment. It's lovely and sunny at the moment, so we're lucky. It's been quite
Okay,
as usual.
that's a
Typical.
good day to record videos. Sunny outside, sunny inside.
I hope so. Definitely.
Right. So, I reached out to you because I saw on your LinkedIn that you help Amazon sellers to optimize their listings. And this is very curious topic. So, is that your main specialty? That's what you do?
Yeah, that's my focus, is actually looking at people's listings themselves and to help them to identify areas that they can improve to obviously to make more sales and increase conversions on their page.
That's very interesting. So I was planning to show you a few listings and maybe hoping to get your feedback, what could be improved and things like
Sure.
that. Are you up for it?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Okay. So we're going to be looking at beeswax wrap just because, so it's a product that people use instead of saran wrap for those that are plastic conscious.
Yeah.
So there are many competitors, and you do it all to optimize. But then after you optimize, then following steps are usually you can run your PPC more successfully. You can get more clicks, more. All these good things come after you optimize the listing. So
Yeah.
basically, the goal when you are redoing the listing, is it really to help PPC, or is it really to just like, what's the driving factor that people come to you to optimize their listings? Like, what's the reason?
It's all those reasons, to be fair. I mean, what I advise from the start is before you even look at doing things on your listing is you do make sure your keyword research is done correct. Because if you're not optimized for the right keywords in the first place, then everything around that, you're going to be potentially heading down the wrong path altogether. Because there's a view that some people like to be ranked for like hundreds of keywords, but that really can hurt your listing because you're not relevant in the Amazon A9 algorithm. I always advise my clients to keep a small group of keywords. You've got maybe 5 to 10 main keywords, and then 5 to 10 minor keywords, and just make sure that is correct before you even think about what you're going to put into your title, your bullet points, your images, and what have you. And
Hmm.
obviously that does affect, again, with your Amazon sponsored ads as well. And also, again, add keywords off Amazon. So if you're going to do Facebook ads, Google AdWords, that type of thing, you want, again, it all relates to that good keyword research in the first place.
Okay, so how does that process work, the keyword research? So do people usually do it themselves, or you do it for them, or you just teach them how to do it? Like, how does that work? Like, I would use like Sonar tool, I guess, and then go look for beeswax wrap in there. Like,
Yeah,
what's
yeah.
this?
There's various tools out there. I mean, I've not come across this one myself personally, but there's obviously tools like Helium 10, Jungle Scout. There's many different tools out there.
Right.
Just which ones you're happy to work with. But yeah, people in both cases, people have already done it themselves, and I can help to tweak it. And if I see anything different that maybe perhaps could be done differently, or they haven't got the time, or don't want to do it, or they don't understand all these different tools, and they just come to me and say, "Can you do it for me?" Then obviously we can do it for them as well, and give them a report afterwards and tell them that these are the keywords you want to be ranking for. This is what your competitors are doing, and go from there.
Okay, so you are saying that the biggest factor in choosing the right keywords is sort of collecting the highest volume ones from your most competing ASINs. Is that your main strategy?
Yes, yes. And there's got to be demand on Amazon in the first place, because people don't go onto Amazon to research a product; they go on there to buy. So if there's no one searching for the keyword that you think you need to get, then obviously you're not going to make any sales. So it's looking. You first need to ensure that there is demand for that keyword in Amazon. By often a simple way is obviously putting in that keyword and doing it and just looking at what that brings up. But then obviously you need to do more in-depth research to find all the other keywords around that that you can help to get ranked for. Because going for a main keyword straight away is obviously quite difficult. And if you're starting out with a brand new fresh listing, so you want to then look to see what sort of the long tail keywords you can get first, incorporating potentially the main keyword in there as well. So over time, you'll start to rank for those bigger keywords. And obviously today, you have to do, I think, Amazon sponsored ads now to help yourself get ranked. Back 7 or 8 years ago, it was like penny clicks, which was great at the time, but that's not the case now. You have to factor that into your budget. That you're going to have to spend some money on Amazon sponsored ads, because that does, in time, give you, it does help your organic rankings, but it also gives you also find out other search terms that you may not have thought of after you run an automatic sponsored ad campaign, which you can then obviously incorporate into your strategy.
Okay, so long tail keywords not always going to have a volume. So, and there are so many of them usually, when you get a list. So how do you choose which long tail keywords to put in your listing? Because you can't put them all, No.
You do need to prioritize them, obviously. And it's just a case of how much you want to spend at the end of the day. Because if they're highly competitive, you're going to have to do a lot more giveaways and what have you. Discounts and things to try and get ranked for them, but try and look for the low-hanging fruit, so to speak. Things like you might be lucky enough to find keywords that like misspellings, for example, that Amazon is normally quite good at correcting misspellings, but if they miss one or two, then you can be the only product literally that ranks that keyword and someone puts it in. So it's just to get that initial flow of sales. You're not going to get rich from it by any means, but it's just looking for those type of keywords initially, particularly if you're on a low budget. You don't want to throw everything at it and potentially lose a lot of money. So it's just, as I say, picking the low-hanging fruit and then building up from there. Okay,
so if there has to be a little bit of volume, basically, right, on those long terms, ideally they should have volume, right?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. They need to have a certain amount of volume.
Okay, because for example, an item like this beeswax wrap, it's not such a high volume product. There are a lot of competitors already, but it's not something that is very popular yet, but it may be because, the world is going that way, to avoid plastic. So,
absolutely.
If you build a brand early, let's say in this niche, that could be something. Like, what's the play in that case? Like, if I'm gonna look at a specific listing at this particular one, and how you can always recognize one of us, like one of these guys who are watching. Whenever you see these capitalized bullets in the beginning, and then the rest, that it's one of us, so to say. There are other listings that are not gonna be optimized so much, so usually they don't even put anything there. I don't know if there's an example of that. But usually they just put the listing together. But these are all like the guys who are in the groups, Facebook groups. They're learning. They're the standard ways. So do you recommend doing the same way, the bullets, always to have a capitalized something?
I do, to be fair. I mean, and also with the rest of the bullets, as long as they're highlighting the features and the benefits as well, and not putting and not overdoing the text. I mean, there's quite a lot of text there, so if it's it needs to make sense to the potential customer as well, and highlight the reason why this product is better than anybody else's. So with the feature, obviously, is that this is made from beeswax, which and the benefit being that because this means you don't hurt the environment due to less use of plastic. That's just off the top of my head, but there needs to be a list of features and the benefits as well, which differentiate your product from everybody else's. But yeah, I certainly, it is good to, I think, myself as well, to highlight the main parts of it with the capitals as well.
Okay, so would you say this guy did a good job here with the bullets?
Let's have a quick read. Yeah, I mean, just on the initial scan through, there's a pretty good job there. But what I would say, because I don't know this product at all, again, what I would do prior to writing my bullets is I would be looking at the competitors. The great thing about Amazon is there's so much information available just from other people's listings and people's reviews and questions and answers. So even before I started writing these bullets, I'd be looking to see what people are saying about other people's products, what's good about them, but also perhaps more importantly is what they don't like about them. So you can then turn the competitors' problems, issues into a benefit of your product. So initially they look okay, but again, I would have to look more deeply into the other competitors to make to get a full understanding whether they're any good or not compared to everybody else.
Okay, so let's say we are reading a few, like you say, negative comments on a competitor. Yeah. And then they are complaining about like wax peeled off the wraps or not all proper substitutes, because I thought it was going to be. So what information are you looking for then in those reviews?
So with wax peeled off, you'd say something like, ours is high quality, guaranteed not to peel for 3-6 months, whatever, or we'll give you your money back, that type of thing. Obviously you need to be telling the truth, and it has to be the case, but that's what you'd be looking to see, that you turn this negative into a benefit of your product, and regardless of what it is.
It says small pieces started coming off. So it seems like that's the biggest complaint here.
So that's what you do. You look for common theme throughout the other people's listings, which you then make one of your five bullet points. Because obviously there could potentially be hundreds of reviews that you need to narrow that down into the biggest, most relevant people that people have got problems with.
Okay, so that means one of the bullets has to be that it's not going to peel off, right? Okay, and then what about the other bullets? Some people put at the last bullet, always they put this 100% guarantee, that you can refund it and return it. And do you suggest putting the guarantee bullet, or it's not important?
I'm not sure these days, because like you say, everyone does do that, and I think it's kind of expected now. But at the same time, I don't think it does any harm to say that. I mean, if someone's teetering on the edge of buying your product and that's the thing that pushes them over, and why not put it in? If you've got nothing basically better to say than that, then it makes sense to leave that in. Or if you don't put it there, you put it in your description, which I say, well, very few people get that far if you've done your listing, the top half of your listing correctly. But I don't see one way or the other. I couldn't say either way, to be perfectly honest. It's good or bad.
So what about this first one? Trust what you wrap your food in. Is that a good bullet as a first bullet?
See, I don't really know what that's trying to say.
Me too. I'm thinking, what is it saying? Trust. That's true. You can't even understand what you're supposed to trust here.
Yeah.
So are you recommending all of them to make benefits? Like, this will not peel off. This will help you watch, environment. That, like, actually you are saying you, like the words like you, and you're talking to the reader, or isn't you're just stating it formally? Like, is it informal or formal language that you should use?
Again, that's what you learn through the research before. You try and learn the language of the customers, and so you then obviously feed that back to them. So if it's a formal type product, whatever that might be, I can't think of one offhand, and you try and use the same sort of tone and language back in your bullet points, which again just keeps coming back to, this is all part of the research before we even get to this stage of through your keyword research, through your reviews research, looking at other listings. And that's why it's difficult to say whether these are bullets are good or bad, because I don't know what other people are saying about the products. Obviously, just give an example with the bits falling off. That's definitely something you want to address in one of the key bullet points. Obviously, the obvious thing is going to be the sustainability side of it. anti-plastic, which is a huge, obviously, topic at the moment. And with this type of product, because they all look so similar, I think it's trying to tell a story as well as to how the story behind the brand, I think, is going to help with the differentiation. And again, with the images as well. So you've got 9 or so images. They look like they're just pictures of the product, but what you can try and do with that is make a story of show how perhaps they come from wherever they're made, how they're produced, and then and then the next image will be something like how they degrade into the ground. So just give a bit more of a visualization as to why these are so sustainable and good for you and for the planet, rather than just having multiple images of the same product, which is not very exciting.
Or like lots of text, which I probably wouldn't read. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. But it's good to have some text if you need it, but have just like a little paragraph with an arrow saying, just with the feature like measurements, or just a lot less text than that, that's for sure. But just things that highlight certain aspects of your product.
Okay. I'm thinking how I would do it if I do it from scratch, like this type of listing. I'm just trying to find someone that's done a good job, but they all seem to follow each other. Like, I like this type of picture that it shows you how you're going to use it. So I really like this one.
Exactly. Yeah. That's a good lifestyle site image. Yeah. And that one as well.
They all seem like they're really fighting for their, for their life on this product, because to my eye, it seems like very optimized listings already. It's not like one of those where you take and there's like one picture and 2 bullets, So actually you have some work to do. This is someone who's already thought about it, hired a writer, or at least copy-pasted. Seems like many of them are copy-pasted from each other, the bullets. Okay, so you're saying not to use so much text, right, in them?
For me, that looks like too much for me. I personally wouldn't want to use that much text for each bullet point, because I think you want to focus more on the images and the title. I mean, the title looks too long as well. I mean, I think it's generally about 100 character limit, depending on the category you're in. I'm not sure what that one is, but that looks quite long as well. And it's a bit, for me, it's overwhelming, and I would to reduce the amount of text on there and just work on my images. As I say, going back to the images, I would look to create like a storyboard of from how it's produced to how you can use it, and to then how it degrades into the earth, and you can safe for the environment, and just build that along those 9 images that you've got, rather than some of those are good. The lifestyle images, like I say, with them holding the bowl, that's good. And how it can be used.
Okay.
I'm not sure what that one's about. But, yeah.
Maybe about the sizes.
No, the one below.
That one I want to skip right away. I don't want to even figure it out.
Yeah. So again, that's exactly what you don't want. It's too confusing.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna think that deep. Like, can you move on? Yeah. What about these icons that you're using, emojis? What do you think?
It's worth testing. I mean, I'm starting to play with those as well.
Yeah.
They are slightly a bit different. My initial, I'm just using one type at a time, rather than having 5 different ones. I would just have one, just to give a bit of uniformity. But it's worth testing and trying. As with anything on a listing, it's a constant tweaking and optimization as you go through. Once you've built a listing, a lot of time you do tend to forget about it. And it's only until it takes someone like myself to come along and highlight different things and point out things that is fairly obvious to someone with a fresh pair of eyes. But you do get tunnel vision after a while with any type of business.
Okay. So you were saying you would optimize the title. So, but like, what exactly would you do to the title? Because the title is so important in terms of keywords, right? You can't just say, something like that. You have to have more than just readable title, because I believe that the Amazon ranking algorithm looks so strongly to the title keywords, and if I remove any, and I guess that's why most people are just stuffing it and not making it readable, because they believe that it's important for the ranking. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, obviously you do need you made your keywords in there, but like you say, stuffing it in, at the end of the day, it's a human that's reading this title, not an algorithm. So if someone you throw that in front of someone and then they say, like, that's too much text, I'm off. It doesn't matter what keywords are in at the end of the day.
So how can we optimize this one? Help me change it. Is that usually your writers who's gonna work on that, or you personally also could help?
I would help with that, yes. So after identifying what the main keyword is, you can then just play around with your character count to make sure that the main ones are in there.
So probably that's the main one, because yeah.
I guess that's the main one, and it's in the right place, right at the start of the title, I would say. And then, because what they got there, so they said beeswax wraps. So they're potentially covering two keywords there. So they've got beeswax food wrap, and they've got beeswax wraps as well. So they've got the plural in there as well. So again, without knowing what the keywords are, I can't really give exact information on what to do.
I'm assuming that this is an actual keyword that is probably here. That's the keyword. I'm just guessing that's a keyword. Maybe that's another keyword. I think he just listed all the keywords.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the ones, depending on what I say, that do you know what the character? Can you put that into character count and see how many characters it is? Because it tends, depending on the category, is normally about 100 characters is the limit. So I don't know how many's there.
Okay, so it looks like 164.
Right. Yeah. So assuming that this is in a category that's 100 limit, you'd want to get rid of 64 of those. And again, like sandwich wrappers, probably you could lose washable bowl covers. So I don't know how much of a major keyword that one is, to be fair. That really needs to be in the title.
So you're saying to even lose a few keywords, but would you say you have to reword it to make it, how to say, save an environment with this item, something like actual benefit in the title, or is it not worth
it? Just make it more readable, and for the customer, I mean, that even though we remove those keywords, I wouldn't then just obviously get rid of them altogether. You then look to put them into the bullets instead, and incorporate it there instead. But because when you land on a page, I think the title is the first thing that that a potential customer sees. So that's what they read first, and if that's too confusing, then you've already started to lose them already. And so once they've got to the title, they then look to the images. Hence why there's the layout of the listing. Obviously, Amazon has spent millions researching this. So they then look at the images. Then you got the opportunity then to sell more of the story through the images. Then they come across to the bullets and read those, and then that should be enough. If you've done a good job, then just to scoot across then to the add to cart button. So that's why at the top there, without you having to scroll down it. I mean, what you want to appeal to is more the impulse buyer, and that's. If you've done your job correctly on the listing, they would only look at the top half of the listing. Hence why they've got the add to cart buttons there. So if they go for title, across the images, across the bullet points, and then just to the right there is where you can add to cart. And it's only for people that need a little more information and haven't built up quite enough trust with them, other than start scrolling down. And that's where you've got other opportunities to try and push them over to make the purchase.
Okay, so what about this main image? Would you say that is all right?
It looks confusing to me. It's a bit overwhelming. Again, there's too much going on there for me.
It's also a little bit against terms of service to have a new writing, I think, or a bowl that you don't sell with the item.
That's correct. Yeah. There's not a lot of white space there either. which I think is.
It's interesting. So he's the one.
They all seem to be like that, though, don't they? They're all quite similar. They've filled up every little space with.
They all have like a fruit in there. I guess this product needs education a little bit. Maybe that's why they're doing it. Otherwise, people have no idea what this is for. Like if you look at that, you know, it just looks like scrapbooking paper. You know.
Yeah, but that might be an opportunity for them to look at how you can stand out from all the other ones, because all of them do look quite fussy, and so by having just a simple listing could actually help pull potential customers in.
Yeah, I would have like plain color, complete plain color. I don't know, matching the fridge, like light green, or I don't know, light blue, whatever.
Yeah.
Or just maybe no. These are people for eco-friendly, so I'll have like this brownish thing, like a natural looking, like beeswax would look naturally, and just plain without any drawings. Because I guess I'm looking at these and I'm thinking, you know, eco-friendly. Are these paint colors? Are these colors actually you know, not damaging to environment? Like right away I'm thinking about that. So if I would remove it and just one without the package, without anything, just show one opened one, maybe that.
Yeah. No, I agree, definitely. And then in a plain cardboard box with plain print on it, nice and simple.
Yeah, that's right. Kind of similar to this, I guess, but like even removing the paint. That would be interesting. Yeah, okay. But now we are sort of redesigning the product, you know, but once you already have it designed, I guess then you know, you don't have much options. Like this guy is including the pouches, so he's showing the pouches as well.
Yeah. Again, this comes down to before you even launch a product, you know, you research the market before, and you can. You made a good point as to, you know, what can differentiate my product potentially is just having a plain brown packaging, and the actual wrap itself is just plain and simple, and not over the top like some of these appear to be as well. So.
Okay, I'll show you another product just to look at. Okay, so this is pretty hard category to be in because there's a lot of big brands that have this standard item like that. So all of them basically are just the product itself, you know, and it's pretty hard to optimize the listing there, except that many of these big brands, very often they don't have I guess bestseller maybe will have the bullets optimized, but big brands normally don't have a time. They just drop all of the thousands of SKUs into Amazon, you know, and they don't write the proper bullets for each of them. Or like this guy is obviously one of us. I guess he didn't do that for all the bullets, but he did a little bit. So I'm just gonna try to apply your suggestions that you said in the previous one, and we'll try to apply it to let's say, okay, this is nice.
Yeah, I mean, this is another product I would tend to avoid, because if it is brand led, then you're already going to struggle.
Okay, so here, so the guy looked like optimized the bullets, but he didn't put a lot of images yet. He just has 2 of them.
Mm-hmm.
So now you said, so you said to put a story in there. Okay, story is pretty hard with the garbage bin, you know, that are you saying you would put something like how you produced it and...
well, with this one, there's no one actually using the bin. Oh, there's one there, kind of using it.
Right.
There's just pictures of the bin. You want more of the lifestyle pictures, you know, in the kitchen, or with the kitchen behind it, so people can visualize it, you know, what it looks like in their kitchen. Or they've got a video at least, so that might be a good video there that they've got.
All right, so there's a video of how to open and drop the trash inside. Okay, I guess that's all you can do with the garbage bin.
Yeah.
All right.
Again, it's in a plain white background. There's nothing to. People want to see it in a home environment, and that's where it's going to go at the end of the day, not in a studio with a white all around them.
Okay, that's a good point. Show them again, like how they're going to use it, right? What about this title? Look, like I'm gonna try to apply your idea, and in the other one you mentioned that the first main keyword should go first, right? Your biggest keyword, And it seems like they're just putting their brand and saying 30 liter.
Yes, yeah. I mean, there's different trains of thought, but me personally, I try and put the keyword in there first, then followed by the brand if afterwards. But some people say put the brand first. But that's, this is probably a year or so ago, but I changed it now to put in the main keyword as close to the start of the title as possible.
All right, so I'm assuming then probably trash can is probably the keyword, but that's very generic in my opinion. So we didn't do the research.
Probably the 8-gallon, the size. If people are looking for that sort. I personally wouldn't be looking for the size, to be fair.
Okay, so he has gallons and liters in one. So it's again interesting. Okay. Okay. So how's this? Is that too vague now?
Yeah, I mean, it's again, without knowing exactly what the keywords are, I'd say I probably would just put 30 litre or trash can or 8-gallon. I mean, obviously this is a US. I don't know what you would use in America more as a terminology, as a language.
He's trying to use both, I guess. Yeah. Okay. And then a brand name just there? Like, is it even important to put a brand name? What if I'm like a small private label seller, nobody knows my brand?
Yeah, in this case, it's Simple Human. They're a huge brand. Obviously, obviously they're over here as well in the UK. So that's probably, it would definitely worth having that in here because people are most likely to search for their brand as well. But less so if you're just starting out with your own private label brand. I don't think it's that important to have the brand name in there because no one initially is going to be looking for your brand name. If it means you're going to lose a major keyword for the sake of your brand name, then lose the brand name and just have the keyword in there instead. Okay.
All right. So the main things I learned from you today is that my bullets should have benefits that I mostly pick up from other people's reviews. Like whatever they complain about, I solve it in my program, in my product while manufacturing it. And then I sort of highlight it in terms of, I don't say extra strong and durable. I say that it's gonna help you to do, I don't know, it's gonna last longer than your other garbage bins, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So the feature is it's made from stainless steel, which is strong and durable, which means that it will last for good use for the next five years or the 10 years. In this case, got a 10-year warranty.
Okay. And then I learned from you that my images should be like a story. So it shouldn't be boring, just how to open the can. It's more like lifestyle images, like how it's gonna match my kitchen, I guess, or because when you're looking stainless steel, there is a reason you want stainless steel because other items in the kitchen probably are stainless steel, and something to relate more, so more relatable. I understood like that, right? You said.
And then one I just thought with the stainless steel, they tend to have fingerprints on them, so you'd have one that's maybe saying it's easily wiped clean, that type of thing as an image as well.
Okay.
That before and after.
Yeah, that's true. You always get these fingerprints on them. All right. And then in terms of title, not to go over the limit, put the first most important keyword first. Then if you're a bigger brand, put your brand. If you're not a bigger brand, don't use it all. And the rest are like sort of in terms of importance, some keywords that you're trying to target, right?
Yeah. So you want to try and get your most powerful keywords in the title first. And then whatever you can't get in there then goes into your bullet points. And then if you've still got like probably more the minor keywords you have left, then that's what you put into the description. Because a small percentage of people will actually get down to your description. So you want the most important keywords in this top half of the page listing. Okay,
great. So tell me now, are you the one who's gonna do all the optimization personally, or do you hire more people than yourself?
Currently, it's just me, but it is getting a bit busy at the moment. So I am looking to get an assistant to do more of the administrative side of things. But at the moment, I'm personally doing all the advice and optimization.
Okay, so you are writing the copy as well for the bullets and description?
Yes, yeah. Because it's fairly straightforward. Once you can see what other people are writing, you can just literally pull that from other people's listings and just rejig it and repurpose it for your own listing. So it's not particularly a copywriting skill. You're just taking information that's already available to you and making it, rewording it for your listing, and making sure that you're highlighting the things that people will like about your product, like about other people's products, but also highlighting the fact that what people don't like about other people's products, they're not going to experience with your own product.
Okay, so in terms of images, do you give specific suggestions to them, or do you help to find a photographer and things?
I'll give suggestions. I don't personally have a photographer myself, but I can recommend, obviously there's various services that we've just got to be, when you are using a photographer, you just have to be very clear as to how you want it staged. Again, it's just, you give them, you do need to get a storyboard and literally storyboard out how you want it to work. And then give that then to the photographer so that he's very clear on, or her, that's very clear on what you want them to do with how to stage the product. And just there are people out there that specialists now that are good at what they do. They've got plenty of experience with Amazon, so they'll just know what to do from the start. But I always like to give some sort of guidance just to make sure that you don't come back with something that's totally not what you're looking for.
Okay. All right. So how can people find you, connect with you if they are interested in working with you?
Various ways, obviously on LinkedIn, or my website is probably the best way to get hold of me.
So that's your website, right? Lucidx. Yeah. All right. Okay. Oh, there's about me. There you are. Okay. So that's for the website, for the contact form, and LinkedIn. So you said you are using LinkedIn, right? Quite a bit.
I'm using more of it. Yeah.
Great. All right. Well, thank you very much, Dion, for coming to my show, and I'll talk to you soon.
Great. Thanks for having me. Cheers.